Crosby, Gensel on the right. He scores! Jake Gensel!
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh no!
In the air to right. This is deep, and he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the Bethel Park Municipal Building. Thank you for watching us on Comcast 21. My habit came out. Sorry, I'm stuttering. That's Comcast 21. If you're watching, pardon my mistake. Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford. I'm a little on edge. We had people adjusting cameras, walking around. Very confusing here. And Comcast 21 is only in Bethel Park. Again, Verizon 32 is in the greater Pittsburgh area. It's also from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford. And we're also live streaming on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. And don't forget about, we're trying to boost up Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. I'll repeat it again, Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. Please watch us there. And, you know, we have a lot of great sports to talk with you today. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smokin' Jim Frazier. And we got Nick VIP Callis here, a.k.a. Harry Callis, 93.7, The Fan. Ooh. And even though he produces shows, he talks on air, on radio.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So for all of his fans, he's here live tonight. All right, we do some promos. And I'm going to do the first promo I've been doing for the last month, and I have an update or two. Albert Trip Menu, I met him on Saturday. He needs new lungs. They had their event. I've been talking about the Alpine Club, which is a bowling alley too. It was a great venue on Saturday. I was there. We got that up so you can see that. They did have the event at the Alpine Club. Many people were there. They had a DJ. They had so much great food. Smokin' Jim, you would have enjoyed it. I think they even had some dark meat chicken. I had a nice breast of chicken. Their food was great. Pasta salads, and I rarely eat desserts. But one of my favorite things is Lady Locks from Ann's Bakery, way back in Banksville Road before Nick was born in Greentree. We'd go from Greentree to Ann's Bakery. They had the best buttercream cakes and Lady Locks that were this big. So I had 3 of them that were this big at the party. I had some sugar because unlike Smokin' Jim, I'm not losing weight. I'm maintaining weight. So it was just a great event. Here's the great news. He needs lungs. He's getting a couple checkups. He needs a heart catheter. Smokin' Jim knows about that. And they're not sure. Here's what's so bad about it. He has the pulmonary disease and he has COPD, but he's having some heart complications. If they are bad, then he can't get a transplant. So here's the good news. $5,700 were raised Saturday. So I salute, shout out to Scoop, Lynn, Jamie, Tripp. Great talking to him for a half an hour. Smokin' Jim, he was even asking us about the Steelers and what he thought. They're watching the show, so if you're watching tonight, I salute you. You're in our prayers. And we're not going to talk about a fundraiser. We're talking about please donate $1, just $1. You can call up Jamie, check out the phone number on this. Well, now you're just looking at me. Somehow, the 2 flyers have been in our studio for a month, and they were thrown out. I'm not going to name names, but they were thrown out. How that even happens is outrageous. But call Jamie, what the number was on there, and you can call Washington Federal Bank. There we go. Thank you for listening in there, Steve. We got Steve, who doesn't even work here in the control room, and Johnny Mariano's helping out. Woo. We won't mention the other guys helping yet. I'm trying to get through this great fundraiser, and it was just a great time. But please, we're going to try helping Trip and Jamie and their family with getting money to them. Imagine they're telling you you could die. Just think about that. Please donate. All right, next, I got to do another promo, and we got Corey from Ohio University here. Local resident of Bethel Park near the Petco. I've driven him home. He's back with us for maybe only a couple weeks, but he's here tonight. Look at this. I'm working with the Alzheimer's Association. My mother's sad to say, this is why it's heartfelt. 1988, August 17th, she died after 6 years of battling Alzheimer's. She died at 55 years old. My 3 sisters and I, my dad, family, and relatives were stunned. She had a great-grandfather that lived to be 105 and outlived 5 wives. Her mother lived to her 80s, her dad in her 70s, so we were stunned that she got Alzheimer's. And back then in the 80s, they didn't even really know how to treat it or have medicines that could help. So I said I would do it. Erin Ward, great camera person here in Bethel Park. She did our shows with me and Smokin' Jim when we started out with Devin Shea. They helped us every week. So she asked me if I'd do something. I said, what about a telethon? She goes, Al, you'd be the best guy to do that. So guess what? First time in history of BPTV, we're having the Talking Machine Telethon Saturday, August 9th, another heartfelt thing. My dad would have been 92 years old August 19th. So it's to honor both of my parents, and we're trying to raise money. I have a link on the Alzheimer's Association page for events. The link I posted on Facebook, and I posted on Pittsburgh Sportsline. These flyers were made up, so it's real simple. Talking Machine Telethon, August 19th, 2023, 4 o'clock to 7 p.m., 5100 Library Avenue, Bethel Park, 15102. You can get more info at actalls.org. Go to Talking Machine, and that's right on there. Then Hot Wing Contest, the Scorched Garden's supposed to be there. He has hot sauces. He was at the Rev 'em Up for Kids last year, and I became friends with him. You know how I make friends as the Talking Machine. We talked about doing a hot wing contest. For all of you people like me that like hot stuff, $20 and you eat as many wings to win the contest. I'm going to have a gift card for you. I'm deciding on how much it'll be, and Smokin' Jim's not allowed to enter. And
say with the way you eat KFC. Yeah.
And that's just a little side note. Then Scorched Garden, they have their food, and they have ramen noodles. They have chicken, beef, all kind of good healthy vegetables. That now Smokin' Jim's losing weight, he can do some of that. 20% of whatever you buy from him, because he charges, decent priced meals. And I've had it because I was out at a place in Washington, PA, where I ate his food, and it was just delicious. He's a really good cook and chef. And 20% of each purchase will be donated to the Alzheimer's Association. And then the pictures, that's my profile pic. Larry Clue made a painting of Franco. He gave me a copy of that, dedicated to me, and Franco died 2 weeks after that, so it really means a lot. It's hanging in my family room at home. The picture below, you see a young Talking Machine at 16 years old with his mother. My mother's Gloria Levine, and she was 39 years old then, so if you want to do a close-up on your screen, you can see me at 16 years old. And it's not showing up in there. Adjust that camera so you can see my mom's picture there. Can you move the camera? Did we get it? Oh, you're showing me. There we are.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel did a great job. He's going to be here on that day, and we're going to have a couple other people. Smokin' Jim said he's willing to donate, so I'm going to take his dollar now. All right, this was a little long-winded thank you for listening, and it really means a lot. Come out that day. You can come out. If you want to donate, that's fine. You can donate in person. You can do it online. If you come out and you want to say hello, I'll thank you online for your donations, and I'll be here talking for 3 hours, which, no problem. I can handle it. And I got to thank Scoop from the family with Jamie and Albert Tripp Menu. She donated $25 to my Alzheimer's Foundation here with the telethon. So thank you, Scoop. And now, Steve in the control room, we need our promos.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
Join the Bethel Park Police Department in support of Kicks for Kids. Its mission is to provide grade school students with a fresh pair of shoes to start off the school year on the right foot. Donations of new youth and adult-sized tennis shoes will be graciously accepted. You can also make a tax-deductible financial donation, 100% of which will go toward the purchase of tennis shoes for students. You can support by calling 412-835-7220, by texting K for K to 44321, or by mailing orders to Life Builders at 2624 Brandis Avenue in South Park. There's also a bin in the lobby of the Bethel Park Police Station for you to make a drop-off. Kicks for Kids. Let's build together and make a difference in the life of a student. And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go.
Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264.
All right. Hope you enjoyed those promos. Hope you pay attention. You're not just going to the bathroom and eating. But hello, Ralph. Marco Rodi, sorry that your aunt died. Thanks for watching. He said, hi, guys. Scoop said hello. Then she said, thank you. No, thank you, Scoop. I appreciate your donation. You're welcome. Chief's watching us. Paul Haley's watching. Hi, guys. Watching on Facebook Live in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wow. Appreciate your input. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
there you go.
You got to see Levine. I tell you what, brother, I'm so proud of you for doing this. Is that your real signature down there? Is that
I just have to disclaim it. Who in their right mind would even ask about a cursive?
I was wondering if that was your real signature.
Let me show you the real signature. I'll put it on here, live TV.
That's the same. That's the same. That's it. But I'm looking forward to this Al Levine, the Talking Machine.
Glad I get out.
How come you have only white people only contests? I've never seen black man eat hot wings. Al Levine, the Talking Machine, sweating through their head. They got to drink milk. Have you seen a black man in a come wing?
Hey, Smoking Jim.
Woo! We don't eat them hot foods, bro.
I worked 36 years at the Press and Post Gazette.
And you seen a black man in a contest
I worked with
that he had to put up $20 to get in?
I worked with the Hill brothers that got me chicken on the hill with Will.
Wow, that's free when Willie hit a home run, yeah.
I got chicken with them then. And guess what? Plenty of them in my union and other people that worked with me
Did you
love
trust-
the hot
did you
wings.
trust
Here's how
them to
much.
pay rent when you owned your building?
Yeah. I rented the black people, Smoking Jim.
Woo!
I did. So this is, I got to disclaim everything out there. Everything he says is his own opinion. We don't even respect it at this point in time. And it doesn't represent BPTV or the studio or anybody in the studio.
We have any proof that my main man Corey ever went to Ohio U? He's wearing orange today. Nobody likes orange.
Guess where he went to school?
Nobody likes orange.
Park High School.
Nobody likes orange.
Bethel Park. Smoking Jim's out of control. Nick.
But I got to give a shout out to my all-time favorite, Mikey's in the house. But I got a question for Nick.
Say his last name.
I got a question.
Say
for
his
Nick.
last name.
I got a question for Nick. My main man, Nick, the VIP of BPTV, is the 18-year-old that the Pirates traded for playing tonight?
No.
Is the pitcher that won the national championship from LSU in the lineup this week?
No.
Well, all I got to say is, L. Levine, the talking machine, who are these writers who are ranking quarterbacks? The writers have
Oh, you're
Kenny,
continuing what's on your
the
mind.
writer
Okay.
has Kenny Pickett ranked number 28.
No, 25.
Well, there's some that got
No,
him ranked
25.
25. There's
No,
25 and one. There's
he's
some
right.
that got him 28.
Yeah.
And
I
I got
ignore
to say,
that.
I got to say, they got that one right. Hey, listen, the question's not whether Kenny Pickett's 32 or 25, because you know Pitt is it with a 28th ranked quarterback. But the question is, can you win the Super Bowl with the 28th best quarterback in the league? And I say, yeah, Trent Dilfer was 28. How about Mark Ripien? That was 28. Nick Foles. He was 28. Brad Johnson, Jeff Hostetler.
You did some work.
And Jim McMahon. All of them Super Bowl winners, and all of them is about 28. So you can win Super Bowls with the 28th best quarterback in the league, and that's what's on my mind.
Smoking Jim, just to interrupt you, you don't drink Steeler Kool-Aid. All they're looking for is a winning season.
That's true.
So I rest my case.
That's true.
Yes, they can have a winning season. They did last year, and he only had 7 TDs because he didn't play the whole season.
Corey
And he had
Trice-
2 winning.
Corey
He
Trice.
had 2 winning drives. So I'm hopeful this year because guess what? It's camp.
Still or no, Corey Trice went off with a knee injury on the court. Looked like he might be out for the year. And Joey Porter again keeps getting burnt by George Pickens. So we know one receiver he can't cover.
Here, to all you Steeler fans,
Joey Porter Jr.
You're lying.
What?
He didn't keep getting burned by Porter.
No, Pickens keeps burning Porter.
No.
George Pickens?
Not regularly.
Oh my goodness, it just went viral. You must have been in here.
Oh, so it was one play?
Oh, he's killing him.
Oh,
they
yeah.
got the whole YouTube. This whole YouTube is full of it.
No.
And when he was in college, he burnt him so bad, and then took his chain off his neck. You remember that? No, you was watching wiffle ball.
Smoking Jim,
You can't watch
Wait,
wiffle ball
wait. Here-
24/7.
he's so far off the rails.
You get shot for taking somebody's chain.
He's so far off the rails, and I just want to disclaim that he was a Steeler scout. He was a friend of Tomlin.
fired.
He was a friend of Tomlin. He is not a Steeler scout or a Steeler fan right now like all of us. So we're going to move on to Nick Callis. What's on your mind after that performance?
Well, I realize I haven't given a Steelers prediction on here yet, so I'm going to give a way too early prediction and say that the Steelers are going to finish a close third with the Ravens in the AFC North, and the Bengals are going to win it, although if Joe Burrow is out for a little while.
2 to 4 weeks,
That
right?
is an interesting kind of proposal. Could the Steelers win the division if Joe Burrow isn't
Good point.
the quarterback of the Steelers or the quarterback of the Bengals. Interesting point. I think they could. 4 games they won't do it. I don't think if it were more than that, maybe. But yeah, the Steelers will be close with the Ravens, finish third, still make the playoffs, and I think everybody with the Browns is going to make the playoffs from the AFC North. So prediction, you heard it here first. Great. How about the MLB trade deadline as well? And I love laughing at the Padres and the Mets because the Padres literally just bought Rich Hill and Ji-Man Choi from the Pirates for a couple of near Major League ready players. So that's kind of exciting. I give my hand to the Pirates there for picking up a couple guys who could be Major League ready. They're a little bit. I know Alfonso Rivas, the first baseman, one of them. He's been known to be a quad A player so far in his career. Hasn't really broken out in the majors yet. There was also a pitcher that just made his Major League debut this season who could do well for the Pirates. So that's good. But I'm glad to see the Padres still buying and they're under 500. So that makes me celebrate. How about the Mets pawning off some of their best pitchers? Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander returns to the Astros, and then David Robertson going to the Marlins. It's all very exciting to watch. All these teams spending crazy amounts of money on players. And then I think, Verlander's, some of his contract is being paid for by the Mets. They sent money and Verlander over to get him off the team. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's just a lesson to look when we think about the Pirates. There's got to be a balance between spending so much and developing talent. And I know we're all impatient, but just look at the Mets right now. It's hilarious to watch them implode, and then the Padres, who want to pretend like they're contending even though they're under 500, taking Rich Hill from the Pirates. It's awesome. It's awesome to look at that.
43 years old.
Yeah, it's to me, I just laugh at it. It's absolutely hilarious what those two teams are doing, and they're just examples of what not to do as major league organizations. Too much spending money, not enough thinking about it. And again, they're losing some of their big players. In this case, the Padres are doubling down on their ineffectiveness this season, and the Mets have thrown their hands in the air. And the Cardinals have done the same thing. They've been a more consistent organization over the past years, but it's awesome to watch them selling all of their big names.
They're one of the greatest organizations in baseball, so it's shocking.
But it's fun.
Shocking.
It's fun to see that the Pirates may finish ahead of the Cardinals in the NL Central standings this year for the first time in 24 years. So that's what's on my mind. The MLB trade deadline's crazy. Yeah, what's up?
How are my Baltimore Orioles doing?
They are near, if not leading, the AL East. And I thought you were a Yankees fan with all the Yankees.
Who they got on their team that just hit us another home run?
Talking about Adley Rutschman?
Frazier.
Adam Frazier.
Yeah, wherever he goes.
Well, he's definitely contributing, but he's not the star of that team, I'll say, unfortunately.
All right, let's cut it there. Smoking Jim's so far off the rails, and he might have to leave before the end of the show because one of his sweeties said he has to be there.
I gotta be there.
What's her name? What's her name? I want to know, does she have the dog? He won't answer, so we know the answer is yes.
Getting bad.
Thanks, Nick. I have
What?
one. Nick, I got one question for you, though.
Okay.
You said 24 years. What happened in 13, 14, and 15 when we were ahead of the Cardinals?
We weren't.
Weren't we?
No.
Oh, we weren't?
No.
Oh, we were wild card.
Yeah.
I stand corrected because I'll talk about my point. I had to point it out. I thought I had him. Randall Bogart has some thing to say about Guns not being here. We understand things happen and just got to deal with it. For all the friends of Guns, you can talk to him or whatever you want to do about that. We appreciate him and what he did here and what he added. Amy, thanks for watching. Johnny Mariano, he's pumping up his son, Michael, on camera. I said I would talk about it later. So he snuck that in on me, and he said Corey and Michael were doing great. And Mark Rohde's still watching, and we don't think he's at the funeral home, Michael. All right, so I got to go what's on my mind. And I've been a Pirate fan my whole life.
Yes, sir.
And longer than Chip because I'm older than Chip. And Chip has always said, why would we want to spend big money like all these teams that Nick's laughing about are unloading because they spent too much money and they didn't get what they thought. They thought they would all go like Smoking Jim. He always bets and thinks somebody's going to win a Super Bowl or World Series. So they're not going there. So to all the people that wonder, being frustrated, we had the same old Steelers, SOS. Well, you can ask my son Drew. About 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I started saying SOBs. He goes, Dad, what's that? Same old Bucks. And so I've disagreed with Nick on many of his optimistic predictions, comments, and hopefulness. And he's only 24. I know what I was like at 24. I believe the best in everything.
Didn't they win the World Series when you were in your 20s?
Yes, they did.
Twice.
There you go.
Yes,
And guess what? They won when I was born in 1960 with the most legendary walk-off home run by Bill Mazeroski. So I had that growing up with. I didn't care who owned the team, but I found out later Galbraith owned racehorses, and me being in horses at 18, I thought that was cool that he owned racehorses, and he owned the Pirates for all these years, Dreyfus. And those were good things. So now, with the last 20, 30 years, SOBs are back again, and I didn't want to be right, Nick, about this. So when I see the trades like this, I tell people it's a lot of window dressing, and then look what they did. They proved me right again. So I'm still a Pirate fan. Watched more games this year than I have in the last 3 years. So I'm going to still watch them, and I'm hopeful, but I just want to put a vote in for Henry Davis at first base.
Anybody could play first.
Well, that's why I said it, because Smoking Jim would make his negative comment. He does not know baseball. All right, we're going to go to
one
their comments
No,
are
just
not even.
one. It's one to
Okay,
make
I'm
you
gonna
feel
cut you.
better.
Okay.
Make you feel better.
That's good.
Some of the Pittsburgh Steelers' worst years in their franchise history when they were named the Pittsburgh Pirates. So. That should
Mr.
make you feel better.
That
That
doesn't.
should make you
Mr.
feel
Negative showed up again. He showed up
You know
again.
they used to be the Pirates.
Smoking Jim, we only taught you that since you've been on Pittsburgh Sportsline. It'll be 12 years. We're moving on because his comments, again, disclaimed. They do not represent any of us here or the BPTV station. So
Me and
zip.
Mikey, us Gateway guys, got to stick together.
He's from Bethel Park. He's gonna come. He's from Bethel Park, and he'll stay here. If not, I know his mother, and wait till she talks to you. You'll be shut down. All right, fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I tell you what, man, I'm so glad I'm sitting here with my main man, the VIP of BPTV, because this generation is just getting a little soft. Nick's not soft.
He
Harry
just touched his
Callis is
arm.
not
How's that
soft.
arm
Yeah,
feel?
he
He got some guns.
He got 20-some inch arm. But listen, everybody's getting, and I'm not a Sean Payton fan.
Who?
But I love what Sean Payton said about Nathaniel Hackett. Hey, listen. Not only was it true, but that Hackett's a bum, but his dad wasn't much of a coach. But here's just some of the things that happened in our generation.
Okay.
Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan hated each other, and they was on the same staff. Al Levine, the talking machine. Buddy Ryan punched his defensive coordinator, Kevin Gilbride, on national TV right before halftime. Chuck Noll almost beat up Jerry Glanville after the game. Chuck Noll hated Sam Weiss. You know, Al Levine, Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler hated each other. You know, Paul Brown hated the Cleveland Browns. Al Levine, the talking machine. How about Steve Spurrier and Nick Saban? Nobody remembers that. Every college coach hates Deion Sanders. Al Levine, the talking, they're all coming after Deion. And I tell you what, remember when John Chaney and John Calipari fought? Al Levine, the talking machine, Bobby Knight hated everybody. Lastly,
Especially chairs.
Bill Belichick and Eric Mangini. Eric Mangini's the one that turned him in for Spygate. How about Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll And how about the greatest? Everybody hated him, but he was the greatest competitor. And if he was a young man today, he'd be the only one that could turn around the Pittsburgh Pirates. Coach Pete Rose. Everybody hated him, but he played the game the right way. And that's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. People are going to hate one another. That's okay.
Well, the one disclaimer is your comment about Pete Rose. He was actually about himself.
He's about winning.
He was like James Harrison.
Did he always win?
He's like James Harrison. I rest my case. We're going to move on. Thanks, Smoking Jim. Just a little side note there. We're going to go to VIP time with Nick Callis. 10 seconds.
All right, an opinion. More about the trade deadline, just where I think the Pirates are going to stand. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be a little optimistic. So maybe to Al's chagrin, but we'll see.
No, you stay optimistic.
All right.
You're not even 25 yet. Yeah. I don't want to crush you. I'll let the Pirates do it. You're welcome.
That's terribly funny. It's good. No, it's true.
Well, that's why I'm here to entertain.
All right.
Guess what? You do what you got to do.
So Ben Cherington said on his radio show on Sunday that Henry Davis would be getting more catching reps after the trade deadline. And many of us speculated in that case that they would probably be getting rid of Austin Hedges in some form if that were going to be the case. And if, as you saw, Austin Hedges got traded to the American League West leading Texas Rangers today for international signing money. So
a cash deal.
It's odd that the Rangers wanted him. It is odd that it was a cash type of deal. And it seems that those comments made by Cherington yielded what we thought, which was, okay, Davis is going to start catching more because Hedges is no longer going to be taking a roster spot. So that's one thing. So kind of good. International signing money doesn't guarantee they're going to be able to sign a player who's going to be good, but, they got more money to do that. So great. I already talked about those guys that the Pirates got for Ji-Man Choi and Rich Hill. So you've traded some players that you kind of knew what to expect for two players that are the opposite. We had no idea what to expect. And a third guy who's 17. So we're not really going to see the 17-year-old anytime soon, I don't think. But when we talk about getting Major League ready players, I think that it was a kind of a good thing for the Pirates to get Rivas and then the pitcher, it's slipping my mind what his name is.
Wolf.
But Wolf, that's it. Jackson Wolf.
I can help you.
Thank you, Al. So,
even though I disagree with the optimism.
Yeah, I think, but what we were kind of clamoring for as fans was to get Major League ready players, and those two might be the definition of it. Rivas is kind of like the Miguel Andujar of the Padres system. Like Andujar crushes in AAA, but when he gets to the majors, he struggles a little too much. Rivas was kind of the same with Padres, and Wolf made his Major League debut this season. So they keep him in the minors and refine him. Perhaps he could be a part of a solid part of the bullpen or part of the starting rotation next season. Smoking Jim asked me if Paul Skeens is going to start tonight. No, he's not, but he could start sometime next season. So there are a bunch of little parts that are coming together where it kind of makes sense, right? We're asking for nobody was going to give up a whole lot for Rich Hill and Ji-Man Choi. Nobody was going to give up a whole lot for Carlos Santana. I really wish the Pirates would have retained those guys, but they're going to be free agents at the end of next year. If they're really that valuable, they'll get signed back. I don't want them to sign Rich Hill back, but the other two first basemen maybe, if Alfonso Rivas doesn't seem to be panning out. So some of these moves that they're making, it seems like they could pan out. We weren't going to get a whole lot for these players. I'm happy they didn't trade David Bednar either. That would have made me sad. They could have got a haul for him, though, but they didn't. Kept Mitch Keller, which is great. So they're keeping some of these foundational pieces of the team right now, trading away some of the liabilities. Rodolfo Castro on the Phillies now. I remember that happened too. So they're getting returns for players that you would have expected. Not a whole lot for Austin Hedges, to be expected. Not a whole lot for Choi and Hill to be expected. So yeah. So what they got back is what we could have expected, and I think that the Major League ready stuff is starting to solidify itself. Is all I'm saying. There are a lot of young players on the Pirates that are now going to be Major League ready, and you slap a few prominent free agent signings on this team in the offseason, and you might get to relive 2013 here coming up soon with hopefully better results during the postseason. But it's possible. And so again, they're meeting our expectations a bit. The team's not performing very well, but the front office is meeting expectations. So I'm gonna say they're doing fine right now as it relates to the trade deadline. Hello.
Just a simple question. How long do we have to wait for your theory?
Maybe less than a year.
1 year. I'll take all the money you want on that.
No, I'm not betting you. I owe you a quarter for probably not winning 84 games this year. Hello.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say they traded for a 17-year-old?
Well, no. You forgot the two other players, too.
They stockpiled for first baseman?
They traded 2 guys to get back 3. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Remember, 2 for 3.
Yeah. How is what's that other one? How is my Baltimore Orioles doing?
Small market team.
Well, remember, they finished
3-2 right now.
No, that's great, but they also had 3 straight 100 losing seasons before they broke out. So
He didn't notice him, Nick.
He
He didn't notice him because he's not a baseball fan. He looks for negativity. We're moving on. Thank you, Nick. Good information. I will remain hopeful but frustrated.
Fair enough.
And you didn't convince me anymore, so I got to carry on like
okay.
that. Pete Kasich's watching. Thanks, Pete. John Donatelli. I like Rodriguez behind the plate, and I really like Davis's arm and right. How about his
Bryce Harper twice?
Yeah, how about his great point there, and how about his hitting? Jamie Minu, Tripp's wife, is watching. Thank you. Paul Haley, shouldn't have dumped Carlos Santana, needed his bat and leadership. Paul Haley's on fire. Pirates are saving money for next year's fireworks and bobblehead nights.
Oh.
Machine, one question.
Well, it was his thing, but go ahead.
One question.
As long as it's
One
negative
of
for
y'all
both
gonna-
of
no,
us.
I'm just-
We're white guys, we can answer
I
it.
need point of information.
Disclaimer in
Point of
advance, we're
information.
white guys and we can answer
Point
you.
of information. What position does McCutcheon play?
We don't remember. DH.
No, I mean, what in the
DH.
field, what position does he
He's the
play?
Pirate DH.
Is he a DH now? What position was he playing?
I answered your question.
For the people,
Why are you
I'm
trying
wearing
to...
McCutcheon's shirt. I'm a fan.
He's still on the roster, so why?
No, I'm just asking what position is he playing in the
DH.
field? Well, in the field.
He's still DH.
Mikey wants to know.
No, he doesn't. He knows it already.
I don't know.
And his cousin
Center? Is he
Marco
center
said,
field?
will Smokin' Jim please stop? He's a DH. And so thank you for that. We're going to go to my segment if we can get through this with a little chuckle. On location coming up in 10 seconds. We got Steve in there with Johnny Mariano pressing the buttons. Good luck. That's still great graphics by A2. Love the on location there with all the spots we've done. On location, we don't have much to tell you about, but I did want to say make sure my on location in the BP TV studio, all of you are welcome to come here or donate money to my Alzheimer's talking machine telethon to honor my wife, my mother, great wife of my dad. And the other thing I wanted to share, August 19th is my dad's 92nd birthday. Wow. So just wanted to share that. Wow. And on location, we just have boxing coming up potentially. Jose Carabella, shout out to Colleen Chaos Davis, won a belt. She's a pro, did a fight on last notice, got a 4-day notice, and look, she won the fight. She's a champ now. And Jose's thinking about another fight out in Millvale coming up shortly. We have Monsville Prison sometime in August or maybe later. I'm not sure. I didn't get any updates because guess what? August is here. This is August 1st. Smokin' Jim, you look up in the sky, there's a full moon tonight. You look up at the end of August, there's a second full moon. It rarely happens.
I didn't know that.
So I figured you didn't know because you don't even look up. But that's what's going on. And we have 14 minutes to have a little conversation between different sports that we don't talk about. I'll put the first one out since Smokin' Jim doesn't know much about Penguins. What do you think, Nick, about the trade that they're hoping to get, and it hasn't materialized. It's been on the airwaves for a couple months.
Erik Karlsson?
Yes. I figured you could mention it because you hear it all the time.
Yeah, I really don't think it's going to happen at this point. Although I will say that the way the Penguins make moves, they're very patient. They are. They were at a standstill trying to get Kyle Dubas in the front office.
Right.
And then, out of nowhere, now he's the director of hockey operations. When we all were looking at GM, they did a head fake and then just, got him in the front office. So
he's like the Omar Khan of the Steelers.
I'm inclined to say no, they're not going to trade for him at this point. But at the same time, I'm also like, well, they'll probably pull something out of nowhere and get him. I don't know, though. I mean, we all get excited by these big names at the Penguins as well, training and trying to get pieces to put together a winner. The Penguins are in bad shape just all together, though, so, I mean, you can hope to trade for them, but I don't know what they're going to be able to do next season with just all these veterans still kind of clumped together, even if they do trade for them.
Well, the problem is our old veterans clumped together, they did well.
Not well enough to make playoffs this season, though.
They did well, but they had a problem with the bottom six and the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, the depth's not there.
Yeah, my thing is, if your stars get paid to be stars and they produce, like when they didn't make the playoffs, I said we had a lack of power. Our stars weren't producing, but they produced, and we need help. And what you're saying is we don't have a lot of help out there. And one guy may not make the big difference that they're all saying,
and it's
right?
It's the same thing that I kind of mentioned with the Steelers, and I was interested in talking about the Steelers like this last year before they went on a run in the second half and almost made the playoffs. But, tank now, take the opportunity to have a losing season to rebuild for the future by gaining assets that are young and that can help you. I think the Penguins are just in a really weird position right now. The Steelers are almost as well, but they've been doubling down ever since Omar Khan became the general manager of getting, just big-name talent in there to compete. And developing, Kenny Pickett as the quarterback.
Well, didn't they listen to us with getting different other positions filled?
Yeah, so they're trying. The Penguins are just different though because and hockey's a different sport. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that.
Yes, it's on ice.
Right. So, I think that the Penguins need to really focus on the future because like signing these big names and continuing to go in the revolving door of all these recognizable names and these expiring names, these players that aren't really performing like they did in their peak anymore or their prime anymore. I think that's going to hurt them. I think they really need to start utilizing the draft a little bit more and finding younger talent to really bolster the
to
depth
do
on
that.
the team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul Haley has a comment. Penguins need a goalie. We just signed him. Jari is always getting hurt. Smoking Jim calls hurt players brittle brothers, and he fits that to T.
But they signed him to a 5-year deal. I understand bringing him back. Maybe it's better to.
But will he be healthy?
Yeah, it's better to have the warts that you know than the warts that you don't know about, or you're not gonna.
Whoa, you're getting philosophical on us.
No, but I'm serious. So, and I think that Jari would have been a great choice, but to commit 5 years to him and what was it, 26, 27 million to him, that's the part that loses.
Yes.
Me, the total security. He doesn't deserve security right now. He does need a prove-it deal, and they didn't give him a prove-it deal. They gave him, you're going to be set for a little while now. Here's nearly $30 million.
Well, the problem we have is we've all been spoiled since the 70s, and other cities wish they had problems like we have right now because it means they would have had success.
Unless you're the Pirates.
Well, I'm saying cities in general with 2 or 3 sports.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a problem for all of us to reconcile with that. And it's sad to say that they're all in that downward swing at the same time. Yeah. And that's what hurts us as fans. Like Smoking Jim, do you have any facts? You don't go to training camp since they fired you from being a scout. So what do you hear from the Steeler camp and not just speculation? Do you have any facts?
Well, I got a lot of facts, but one.
Because the fiction's out there.
I need Nick or maybe Corey to help with
Why Corey?
With a
He's on camera.
To create a GoFundMe page for our good friend Luther Dupree. Luther's on the run.
Didn't I try a GoFundMe page for you once? Remember?
Yes.
For somebody else.
It was on his Mac Pro.
But I tell you what, he lost so much money. I've been saying for the last 3 years that nobody could beat Crawford. I've been saying that everybody put their money on Spence, and now Luther's on the run.
Oh, you're talking boxing. Okay.
He lost so much money on Spence that he not only lost with Rivers, but he lost with the bookies. So Macaroni Tony's looking for him. I told him he's on the run. I said, go down south, go to Atlanta, you'll blend in. But if he don't, Al, you know the police over here. Can we give him police protection till he can get some money up?
No.
You ain't seen him. You ain't heard from him, man.
No.
Since that fight, he bet so much money. But in terms of the Steelers,
What did you tell him to do?
I've been saying, everybody says I was crazy. I said before, I said that Tyson Fury, in my opinion, greatest heavyweight of all time, was going to knock out Wilder. Everybody thought I was crazy. He almost lost his house
We're talking
on that.
Spence.
Now, I've been saying for 3 years that Crawford could beat Spence. Everybody says I was crazy. They said, who'd he fight? I said, well, it don't matter because I don't watch what a guy does. I watch how he does it. And he reminds me of the guys that fought in the 40s and 50s.
Smoking
where they
Jim's
could
not
really
playing
fight.
dumb now.
So
He's not playing dumb.
he's on the run.
It's a Pittsburgh Sports Line first this
He's
year.
on the run right now. And I told him,
2023. Listen.
because he got a bunch of kids, but one of his daughters is my goddaughter. I said, I'll take my goddaughter in. The rest of your kids is on their own. I'll take my goddaughter. But you, your wife, mom, dad, the rest of them kids is on their own.
I gotta, Smoking Jim, I gotta do a disclaimer here. I've known Smoking Jim 12 years coming up in September.
My goddaughter and Mikey, only one invited to my house, brother.
I know, I'm not even invited to his house. But we've been out in the public doing all kind of shows and boxing. He has about 300 godchildren, and I lost track of 500 cousins. Everybody he knows is a cousin, and I tell the story that one time a guy came up, MMA, hugged him. They're talking like they knew each other. I sat down, and he goes, "Hey, Machine, can you find out his name?" That was his cousin. But we got to move on from that. Any talk about Steelers that's legit?
Well, number one,
You only got 6 minutes.
Steelers really did a good job. They got a big cornerback that could be a safety and a great special teams guy from Wake Forest in the 7th round. There was people that thought he was going to go in the first, second round. Corey Trice, he got carted off in the golf cart. Always ask one question when you go on the golf cart. Was you sitting in the front or you sitting in the back? You sit in the back, you out for the season. You sit in the front like Dante Johnson, you pulling the hoax. You know what I mean? You only out for a day. But he's out elevating the talking machine. Listen, the guy that's going to lead the NFL in penalties, in my draft report, I had him as a safety. He can't play corner in the NFL. Joey Porter Jr., the guy that was crying on draft day because he didn't go in the first round, that guy.
Yeah, but he was number 32. He was in the gray area.
He is grabby. I said he's grabby. He's going to lead the league in pass interference penalties. He can't cover these. He's a safety that they drafted in the first round. I said on draft day that Broderick Jones would not start. I said Dan Moore showed me some improvement.
Open door Moore.
Dan Moore showed me some improvement. Don't forget,
Open
they only
door.
had one coach.
Open
he
door.
only had one coach in his career last year, Myers. That's the only true offensive line coach he had. The whole line showed improvement. Dan Moore right now came back, chiseled out of stone. He looked like Tarzan. He's playing great ball, and he's going to be a multimillionaire next year because the Steelers can't afford to keep him. He's going to the Pro Bowl this year while Broderick Jones sits the bench.
Oh, Smoking Jim, I got to disclaim it. Anytime he said a guy looked like Tarzan, he said he looked like Jane.
Plays like Jane usually, not Danny Moore.
Well, he's open door Moore till he proves it. Paul Haley got a Penguin comment. Pens look like Detroit Red Wings after their 2 Stanley Cups around 2000. Old team, no victory since. Rebuilding doesn't always work when you leave guys like Crosby, Malkin, Letang go out on a losing note. Wow. It's well taken. You're backing up Nick here on that. Smoking Jim, thanks for your opinions on there with a little bit of facts.
I got a question.
And can I also say
No, it's negative.
I put a great bet in today. I put a $100 bet in today on 25-1 odds, I'm predicting that former homeless guy, Najee Harris, will lead the NFL in rushing this year. I got a 25-1 bet. I put $100 on.
You must have listened to the radio when somebody said that's a good bet. You were listening to the radio.
I talk about that on the morning show.
Yeah, I heard it, Nick.
As soon as I heard it, I went down and put me some money on it.
I thought of that because Drew and I were listening for Nick, but we heard that you got to put that money on him, and it proves what I said. He had a steel boots. I can't even talk now with him saying he bet 100. But he had the steel boot for 6 games, and he's washed up, but he got 1,000 yards again.
Yeah, that's incredible.
What will we do with the better players on the line? And notice I'm optimistic about our Steeler line. No, not more.
Not Dan
No. Here's what I'll tell you. I would put the number 1 pick in tomorrow.
He'll get your quarterback.
Guess what? We got 3 first games with great rushers. Let's see what he got.
Even though
he's a number 1 round pick.
Even though it's not that far from the 28th quarterback to Trubisky. It's not that far, so maybe you're right. Maybe it's okay to get the quarterback killed, but I don't want the kid killed. He's still on his honeymoon.
That list was of starting quarterbacks, so Trubisky couldn't
make
it.
What I'm saying is, when you're the 28th rated quarterback and you get hurt, your backup ain't that far behind. So that's what I'm saying. It ain't like Joe Burrows is gonna get hurt.
Here's my
question. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Getting killed, that's okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quan Alexander, what do you think of him? There's a lot of comparisons.
Well, he's somebody else's garbage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That made it clear.
Like, most of the stuff that Quan been bringing in is other teams' garbage. Ain't nobody fighting over him.
I saw
Detroit wasn't fighting to keep him.
The Jets. He was on
the Jets, I mean.
Whatever. This is all friends.
I'm worried about him a little bit. I saw that he had a lot of numbers compared to Miles Jack when the Steelers signed him for last season, so yeah.
I like Miles Jack.
I like recognizable names, but no, I don't know. I get scared.
He got tattoo all on.
I get scared too when some of Tomlin's reasons are, well, when he did good against us, that means he should be on our team.
I don't like.
But what kind of team do we have?
I don't like the brothers.
We have a very uncertain team. It could go either way. I still think they're gonna make the playoffs. So.
Well, you got tattoos all on your neck. Yeah, I move.
Well, Nick, I feel they can improve play-wise, but we're in a tough division. A lot of people said we're in one of the tougher divisions.
Cincinnati's the only tough team in there.
No,
the Ravens have been pretty consistent.
Ravens is tough.
They finally
the Browns have a bunch of wild cards that could all turn.
But I mean, everybody says it's the toughest division in football. It's not. Anywhere Patty Mahomes is, that's a tough.
No, they call him Patrick.
Wouldn't he automatically win?
His name is Patrick.
Wouldn't he automatically win the division in that case? Son?
Who? Patty Mahomes.
Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Patrick.
They win.
Patrick's his name.
That's my point, though. So it's not really competitive.
Well, San Diego is better than any team in our division.
You know what?
You mean Los Angeles, the Chargers?
Yeah,
they don't play in San Diego anymore.
Smoking Jim, I want to bring back somebody you called Baker Mayfield.
I love him.
And you predicted they'd go to the Super Bowl because on paper, we argued with you, they look great.
That's true.
And I said there's still the mistake on the lake, and look what happened.
You did say
so I got to get credit. You like grabbing credit over some things. So
that was the same year he beat Pittsburgh here in the playoffs.
Yeah, but we didn't have the greatest team. We thought we had the greatest team, and that's when you and Tomlin broke up. On that happy note, thanks to Jamie Minu for watching us and everybody else, our new fans and old fans. We appreciate all of you. And stay tuned for next week. We'll be back. And stay Joey strong.